Hi, everybody, and a warm welcome to the Cosmic Sister Show with Anne and Corrine. And today we're going to talk about, are you really ready for emotional freedom? Sticking our noses out, as usual, right?
Yes.
And welcome to you. It's so lovely to always see you on Wednesdays. My beautiful, perfectly imperfect, unique,
Perfect.
one-of-a-kind Cosmic Sister. Corrine Mooney, guys, all the way from Arizona. Mesa, Arizona, to be honest.
Yeah.
And this week, we open the sacred space of release, the art of letting go with grace. That is a true art. Emotional freedom isn't about escaping feelings, it's about embracing them until they transform into light, until we become masters, basically.
Mhm.
Together, we will explore what it truly means to live unbound, to meet your emotions as teachers, to honor your sensitivity as strength, and to rise into the radiant peace that has always been yours. Tune in and journey with us into the heart of liberation. Today we have Wednesday, August 26th in US and Europe, and our future Australia, August 27th. So, again, we discuss, are you really ready for emotional freedom? And we take your questions, so please chat with us, ask, don't be shy. We are here for you, and we just love what we do. Our last show on Cosmic Sisters was last Wednesday, August 19th. And we talked about ethereal empowerment, discovering, acknowledging, and harnessing your etheric gifts. We do go live on YouTube every week at youtube.com/at Cosmic Guardians 111/streams and youtube.com/at Angel Place on Earth/streams. And we stream the replay right after the show at facebook.com/Cosmic Guardians. So if you want to catch any past episode or find out more about us, just go to our YouTube channels. And of course, you can watch it for 30 days on Facebook. I don't know why they have a new rule since a year, but they only allow long videos 30 days. So that's why we have on YouTube as well, all over the place.
Yep.
So let's take a deep breath and together arrive fully into this moment and dive very deep into today's show. Centering ourselves, right? I think this topic today is stunning. I love it. And I have to pop a joke here because we said this so many times before. Every time we pick a topic or we choose something and we go out with that's going to be for next week, we are actually living
Oh,
the
yes.
same thing
Oh,
in
my
our
goodness.
personal life.
Oh,
I love that. I love that. Is the universe giving us a test? Have you mastered this or not? Right?
no. Where would be the fun if we didn't have something else uh, to give us a little challenge and go, oh, well, we can polish that, we can tweak that, we can move that. Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yes. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Well, I could take over for just a little bit. But I want to ask people, is it emotional baggage that you're carrying around? Would you rather have emotional freedom? And as the whole thing is about, are you ready to do this? Because sometimes it's a subtle move towards that direction, but it's a conscious decision to say, hey, I'm ready to make a change. I want to change. So if emotional freedom were easy, we'd all be free. But it requires a lot of loving homework, and it brings out a lot of ups and downs all the time. But there's nothing worth doing unless you're going to have a little effort that needs to be put into it. If it were handed to you, it would not have value. And I'm sure, like myself, we all get weary of getting close to accomplishing that freedom.
Yeah.
Then something happens and we are not able to achieve it. Or maybe we just see glimpses of it. But what do? We get up, brush ourselves off, and with new enthusiasm and a new understanding of what we've already learned, because we have dealt with so many issues, we're ready to move on. And this time, allow, allow the possibilities of stepping into that well deserved emotional freedom.
Yes, it is. And, those of us who are stubborn, talking about myself, and maybe
No.
you, no, we kind of say, okay, I see something here that is coming as a test. It's not punishment or reward or anything. It's just, because we state something, we are also creating something about that. So telling what we are going to do, for instance, our topic, we send out some sort of intention into the universe, and therefore we're also going to meet it. But seeing a challenge makes me, oh, it really triggers me in a good way. So I'm going to conquer this. I'm going to, just like that.
Just give me 1 second. My computer is telling me that I need to get some energy to it, so I'm going to do a little gyration
Okay.
here.
Okay.
I had it moved last night and I forgot to plug it back in, and it's saying feed me, feed me. And I'd rather
Yeah,
do that now than have everything just kind of go bye bye. Okay, we are
okay.
technically put together now.
Good. Good. So, our question for today is, are you really ready for emotional freedom? And this question is not a challenge, it's an invitation, to be honest. It's a soft opening into a deeper layer of your being. Think of it as a doorway into the part of you that longs to breathe without constraint,
Yes.
feel without fear, and live without the weight of old stories, because we are experts sometimes as human beings collecting old stories, living in the past, or continuously living in what's going to be, planning for the future. We are not here in this moment. So, emotional freedom is not a destination, it is a state of inner clarity where your truth moves without obstruction and your heart rests without defense. Meaning that we encounter something, like I just mentioned before. Okay, the stubborn ones, like me. Oh, a challenge. Hey, bring it on. And then we each and every time, because this path basically it's a process. So it doesn't mean that, okay, I conquered this one time and I'm ready. No, because there are layers also to all of these things. And sometimes if it's something that have been going on for a very long time in our lives, it can take time. So give yourself that time and space to have the process going on. And even though maybe we are succeeding as we feel 10 times, and the 11th, we don't do it in a good way. We kind of step straight into that trap and we behave like something else. Don't punish yourself for that. That is perfectly normal, because we don't conquer anything. We don't become masters just by saying it. We have to do the work to become it, right?
Oh,
And it's human, I know.
yes, yes. And the universe lovingly gives us, well, it gives us the strength, even though we don't think we're strong. But it, I find that it gives me an opportunity to fine tune things. But what's the prize? The prize, a clean slate, a breath of fresh air, and the weight of lifetimes lifted, bringing in that brilliant new beginning. You know, and it's interesting. Our emotions are not stagnant, they're energetic, and they arrive without warning, without logic. The emotional system is tuned, fine tuned, and delicate. And sometimes we can't even detect it. However, it is as powerful as the sun, and it is the seat of creation. Science is in a complete quandary about how emotions really affect us, but we have many great people that are associating the emotions that we have with our physical illness, with our failure, our cars. When we're having a respiratory situation, sometimes our car is also having things done. So we're connected even to the world that is not flesh and blood because it is an emotional vibration. But they guide us, they inform us, they shine light into the darkness. And these emotions are responsible for how we view the world and how we perceive our perceptions,
Yes,
how we
exactly.
perceive our perceptions.
Yes.
We assume something, we make a sort of informed thing, and then we respond to that. And sometimes, and there again, that assumption we gotta start, kind of letting that be somewhere else and not make those assumptions because they do cloud our perceptions of what we're seeing.
Yes, and that's interesting that you mentioned that because I want to mention two things. The other thing is about emotions, but let's get to perception first because we perceive things based on what we think we know.
Mm-hmm.
So, in order for us to step outside of that perception, to see a bigger picture or change perspective, or you name it, we need to expand because there's no other way. We can't acknowledge or perceive something that we don't really know what it is. We're not going to understand that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And emotions, that's also interesting because we come here with so many qualities. We have senses, we have our mind, we have emotions. We need all of those things to navigate this world, right? But this world has taught us to grow certain areas more than others. You froze for me a little bit.
There
Maybe
we are.
I'll,
There
yeah,
we are. I don't know where I went, but I went to somewhere.
you went somewhere. So
Yes,
emotions are very handy. We need emotions to understand things and
very
to
much
feel
so.
things.
Yes,
But we don't need to keep ourselves victimized emotionally for past things. That is very, very different. So,
yes,
to be ready for emotional freedom is to be willing to meet yourself honestly. And no, that's not going to be a bliss every time. But don't judge yourself. Just
yeah,
see, allow yourself to come forward because you have to see, you have to acknowledge, and you have to get to know yourself who you truly are. And that means that all of those things are going to come up to the surface, right?
yes.
Plus, you're going to meet situations in your life where you have the possibility to learn, to kind of experience And
Yes.
from that experience, you're going to be able to move forward. So to meet yourself is to allow your inner world to be seen by your own awareness without judgment. It is to recognize that your emotions are not obstacles, but messengers.
Mhm.
They are not burdens, but bridges. They are not flaws, but frequencies that reveal where your soul is guiding you next. So that
Yep.
is a real blessing, isn't it?
It really is. And from what I understand in different points of view and things like that, it seems to be that Homo sapiens and the indigenous beings on this planet, um, the experiment is to see if we can handle these complex emotions and be able to learn to use them as the great gifts they are, or to be burdened with them. So we're kind of in a petri dish, and everybody is watching to see. Well, they really haven't handled that well. Well, that's a little bit better, because they really do affect our entire being.
Yes.
And when we're trapped and held prisoner from some of the emotions that we had before, and we refuse, not reluctantly, yes, we reluctantly refuse to let go of them because they give us a little bit of stability. And yet they are eating away at us. And when we say, okay, I love my emotions, I love who I am now, how do I how do I embrace them and not have that feeling that I had, that I was betrayed, and I'm never going to let go of that. I'm going to hang on it because every time I see someone with red hair, that person betrayed me, so I'm not going to talk to that person. This is when they become our 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 prison.
Burden. Yeah.
Yes, and freedom is, it doesn't happen overnight, and it's a process. And I guarantee you, just as soon as you think, oh, now I can take a breath, well, then you have a new set of situations that come. And but
Yeah.
that's what it's all about.
Exactly. And let's be real with something. It takes courage to look within, true
Yes.
courage, because emotional freedom also begins with this courage,
Yeah.
not the loud kind, the quiet kind, the courage to sit with yourself, with you, the
Yeah.
courage to feel what arises, the courage to acknowledge what has been avoided. This courage is gentle, it does not force, it invites, it whispers that you are safe enough to explore the landscapes within you. And the thing is that if we find ourselves with, which is a very common thing, finding yourself in a place of resistance, that's going to keep you there longer.
Hmm.
That can keep you there for years if
Yep.
you are resisting to look at those things, seeing yourself from within. So,
Hmm.
the key for freedom is actually to have that courage to look within. And when you look within, you may find tenderness, you may find memories, you may find patterns that once protected you but now limit you. You may find dreams that have been waiting patiently for your attention. All of this is part of your emotional truth. All of this is part of your readiness. And here's one thing, too: patterns that were good for me 10 years ago doesn't necessarily be good for me today because I've transformed. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to punish myself for what I did 10 years ago, because maybe that was the best I could do
Yep.
back then, right? So
Exactly.
it's not a way of punishing ourselves. It's not about, thinking, okay, well, I made the wrong choices. But at that time, maybe those choices were the only ones you could make,
Yes.
right?
Yes. And at every moment, even though we don't think we're doing the best, I mean, sometimes we can, but there again, the four agreements. Always do your best. Every day, your best is different,
Yeah,
depending on what's going on with you physically, and to add judgment and guilt and resentment and regret. These are useless because they do not allow us to move forward. Uh, Memories, gentle memories, whether they're of a birth or a death, these are part of our growth. But clinging onto them and putting more to it than what it was, then we start building up barriers and making judgments about things that really are out of our grasp.
yeah,
And when we find that emotional freedom to be able to experience all of these beautiful gifts we have and acknowledge what we're learning from them, then they become our joy instead of our stick that we beat ourselves over the head with.
exactly.
Do a lot of that. Duh, buh, buh, buh.
To be ready for emotional freedom is to soften the armor you once needed, right? Armor is not wrong. That's a protection of ourselves. It is a
Yes.
response to experiences that have shaped us. But emotional freedom asks us to notice where the armor have become heavy, where it doesn't suit us any longer. It doesn't work for our highest best, right?
Yeah,
It
exactly.
asks you to gently loosen what no longer serves your becoming, because we are continuously becoming. And emotional freedom is not the absence of emotion. It is the release of emotional echoes that no longer belong to our present. It is the clearing of old resonance so that our current truth can be felt clearly. It is the moment when we realize that we are not defined by what we once felt. We are shaped by what we are choosing to feel now. Choices. And I love to talk about that. Choices and consequences. For
Yes.
me, that is karma. And it's energy work because we do it continuously. We live in a world where we do exchange energy all the time and work with energy. We respond to energy. So it's quite simple. And I know it's very easy to say. It's a different story mastering it, right? But if we can do it, I promise anyone can do it. That's a
Yeah.
promise.
And I love the way you say mastering. Mastering, because it has an ing on it, means it's still moving. It's we did not say that we mastered it because that would mean we're finished. We are mastering it as we go. So that little, it just made me laugh because I get
And
to a point where I can take a breath and then I go, oh, not again.
I heard someone express this today very, very in a good way. That it's a different wording, but easy to understand. So, because we are continuously becoming, that never stops. So, that means this is why we can't say that we mastered. Yeah, we can say we mastered a part of something, but
Yep.
if we are continuously becoming, and that is going on to infinity, where we are mastering things along the way all the time, aren't we?
Yes. Oh, yes. I um I really chuckle, and you've heard me say this often when I have a new situation that needs to be resolved, and I'll say, darn, I did not read what the class was really about. But I wish I hadn't taken it because it's really becoming a pain in my arse, and um, I mean, I would love to just sit back and watch the flowers grow, but sometimes you got to get out there, like you with that thorn bush, and
Yeah, my
find a way
goodness.
to remove the thorns and bring out the beauty. So
Yeah, and that's also, it's a very practical earthly thing to do in a garden, right?
yeah,
Those thorns actually, they come from the ground and they can climb trees. They are
oh yeah,
huge sometimes, and they can be very thick also if you haven't done something about them. And I think that they left them alone for some time here, obviously.
yeah,
But when we find a way to do it, anything can be done. And now I have made a name that I'm very good at doing, getting rid of those thorns without having scratches on myself, because you can hurt yourself
oh yeah,
badly if you're not protective. So now that has become my work, but I actually love doing that, because for me, doing small chores at home or going out in the garden doing chores, that is like meditation for me.
yes, yes, it really is, and um, unfortunately, because of all the cities and the changes in our lifestyles, people forget that there is so much that we glean from touching the earth and being one with the earth and if you're talking about energy, the magnetic energy, and I mean there is an exchange between us and the earth and what we do, and that's a whole another ball game. But emotions are beautiful, beautiful gifts, and when they are embraced and give yourself the moment to understand, where is this moving me, what am I how am I revolving, and how am I evolving from having experienced this particular emotion. And but anything we do can entrap us. If it's something that we really really love, and you're out in the garden 24/7 and you don't do anything else, that is an entrapment. So having that fluidity in our ability to experience all these different things allows
Yes.
us to enjoy the emotions we have and not have them become something that says, well, you're going to carry that hurt forever. You're going to carry that guilt forever. You're going to be a bad person because you da 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 da. These don't serve anything. They stop you.
No. Yeah,
And
they do.
rise and
No
shine.
one, no one walking on this earth are free from making mistakes. No one.
No, no, not at all.
We all do them, and that's not conducive for us to hold on to the whys and what we learn, we understand, and I do understand from something past that, okay, I know I'm not going to go there again. So when I encounter a similar situation, I know how to deal with that. That is life, right? So
Exactly.
releasing emotional echoes, it's not a difficult thing. It can feel challenging, but it's a gentle process. It happens through awareness, compassion, and presence. Not being in the past, not being in the future, being here. Feeling compassion for yourself and being aware. Awareness is key. Even though awareness can feel like a burden sometimes, oh my gosh, why did I do that? Maybe you say that for a brief second, and then okay, no, I'm not going to go there. Now I'm going to figure out how to use this to my advantage, right? So
Exactly.
Emotional freedom happens when you allow yourself to feel without clinging. And the clinging here can be applied to clinging on to other people
Mm-hmm.
to rescue you. Um, you can express that also as a sense of neediness. I need that person because if I don't have that person, I don't know how to move forward. That is not a very healthy approach because you are not developing the relationship with yourself, which is the most important one, right? So you need to hear yourself and you need to know that it's okay if anyone else, and you come to a place when you know you mastered a part of all of this, when you say, okay, I know I don't need that person, I would appreciate if they would be with me, but I can leave them with great love so they can move on with their own path, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
different, very, very different. So
Yes.
this happens when you feel that you are clinging to something. It happens when you let emotions move through you instead of holding them as identity, right?
Mm-hmm.
Emotional freedom opens the door to authentic expression because the more authentic you become, the easier you have to express yourself. When your inner world is no longer tangled in old patterns, your voice becomes clearer, your choices become aligned, your presence becomes grounded, and you begin to express yourself from truth rather than reaction. A form of response that we also talk a lot about, right? How you respond to things, not reacting. One more. Authentic expression is not loud, it is real, it is true. It is the way your soul speaks through your human form. It is the way your cosmic essence translates into earthly action. It is the way your inner clarity becomes visible in your outer life.
Wow. Yes. It's interesting because this new adventure that I'm having, um, and moving through, something came to me again at 4:44 in the morning. That's when my crew likes to wake me up. And we've talked about understanding and forgiveness and all this. What I kept getting, and I was told to write this down, to have compassionate patience, compassionate understanding, compassionate love, compassionate forgiveness, and compassionate compassion. And the, what that gave me is it took me to a different level of understanding how to use these emotions, and especially the emotion of compassion, to have the patience when we're going through our stuff. And it was so vivid, and when I'm told to write something down, I mean, there is like, do it now. So it had to have some validity into dealing with emotions, and I'm working on it. It's a project that I'm working on, but it's an interesting concept of how to move your emotions into a, I hate to use the word higher because that sounds like we're lower, into a more evolved ethereal state. And that's what this is all about, is evolving to where we are living in that ethereal state all the time, instead of you know having to come back down here and do some nitty gritty work. And you
And
know
that is a big part of becoming aware while we are here, because our souls are already perfect. But sometimes maybe we are manipulated to think that we need to come back, when in essence we don't really have to, right?
Right.
But we need to become aware of that thing, so that we can just walk our own way when we are transitioning to the other side. That's
Exactly.
kind of really intriguing and really important, right?
Uh-huh.
So again, are you ready for emotional freedom? If you are asking the question, you already are. So if you ask yourself the question, if you're ready, you are. Readiness is not perfection, it is willingness.
Mhm.
It is the soft opening of your inner door. It is the moment when you choose to meet yourself with honesty and compassion. It is the recognition that your emotional landscape is not something to fear, but something to understand. You
Yes.
are ready because your soul is guiding you toward expansion. You are ready because your heart is longing for spaciousness. You are ready because your inner wisdom is rising to the surface. You are ready because emotional freedom is your natural state beneath the layers of experience.
That so beautifully said. So beautifully said. And like any gifts that we have as we're moving through this experience called humanness, um, we have these beautiful earthly experiences that take us closer and closer to the reality of understanding that we can bring that ethereal, unconditional love and really have that to be part of our communication. And by finding our authentic self, our authentic awareness, it allows us to move into a dimension that is blissful and peaceful and clear, and yet it gives us the opportunity to experience all our emotions at a very exciting new level. And
Yeah, exactly.
so changing is wonderful. Nature changes, we change.
Yes.
And I'm going to ask people out there, how many times did you change clothes in the last 2 days? So it's
Yeah.
okay to change your perception of emotions. It's okay to allow things that no longer they got you to where you are now to let them go. Bless them. Always bless them. Always bless any lesson you have, because it got you to making a change, and that's beautiful. And there's nothing more exciting than becoming you, authentic you.
No, it is not. And it's a beautiful discovery when we peel off all of those layers, right? And there's nothing to
Yes.
fear. There's nothing to fear. You know, our
Yeah.
emotions are a way of navigating this earthly life too, right? So without them,
Very much.
we
Yeah.
wouldn't be able to navigate. And we need the intellect as well. We need our mind. We need the ego a little bit. We need all our senses. That's important to remember. So your soul is prepared to breathe more deeply. Your heart is prepared to feel more gently. Your being is prepared to live more authentically. You are ready for emotional freedom because you are ready to be fully you.
Yep.
That is the blessing, isn't
That
it?
is the blessing. Yes. Wow. Oh, that was very emotional. I couldn't
Yeah,
help. I
that
couldn't
was
help
really
it.
emotional, and I think that sometimes maybe it sounds like we talk about the same things, and maybe we do in a certain level, but the earthly life contains so many things that we feel are kind of a huge area. But in essence, if you peel off those layers, it's becoming way easier. It's becoming way easier because you perceive life differently. You perceive from your soul. The soul doesn't complicate things as we do as human beings. And boy, human beings can complicate things,
Oh
really.
yes, we. Uh, if you want to see a mess, put a human being in in the mix. And I know I work with this lovely person that his heart is there, but everything he does, every move he makes, he tries to make it as complicated as he can. A simple, if you just move the box over there, you don't have to work around it, leaning over it. You can, if you move it out of the way, then you can get to where you're going. Oh, okay. If you pick that up before we go where we're going, you don't have to come back and get it. And humans have a tendency to do that. That, well, if I'm not really struggling, I guess I'm not. Yes, the prize is always worth the effort, but that doesn't mean you have to keep throwing more effort into it to get to the prize. Please, folks, be gentle with yourself. And if there's a path of least resistance and it's going to get you to the same place, it's okay. You don't have to beat yourself up or go over the rugged path just to prove that you can do it. Because we need breathers every now and then. So be nice to yourself.
Yes. Well, my lady, how do you feel for the hot seat?
I don't, I do,
Ah,
gets me very emotional when you ask me that question.
so we always have a few simple reflections and questions that are helping us to feel into the topic of the day. And these questions and reflections are also for all of you watching. So please use them and try to figure out what resonates for you, what comes from you, what do you feel about each one of them. And there are 5 simple, I say simple questions. I know you're laughing.
Simple.
Simple.
Uh-huh.
So we need to figure out what definition of simple you have and what definition of simple I have, right?
Wow.
First question. What does emotional freedom mean to you in your everyday life?
To me personally, when I am in that state of calmness, I think clearer. Um, and that calmness also has this wonderful, blissful effect on my physical being. When I step out of that, the opposite is my heart races. I'm agitated. I don't know where I'm going to go. And it's because I'm feeling a bombardment of other people's emotions, and I have to release that I am not responsible for how they're feeling.
Yeah.
And this is one thing that I've found for myself. When I have released my emotions and I have that level of freedom, then I realize that this is not about me, but that's what they're projecting. And there again, it's something that when you're doing it, you're not aware you're doing it. When you're not doing it, you are aware that you aren't doing it. I mean, it's like, that sounds complicated, but that's true, because you're living in this space and everything is uh, able to be accepted and handled, and that's just who you are. And it's when you're not in that space that you go, oh, what happened? Well, nothing happened. You just stepped out of that space of being in your emotional freedom.
Yes. And that can be challenging, but it's also beautiful because the key is awareness, right? So when you
Uh-huh.
are aware, yeah, because you are aware when you step out of it, when you are in
Very
that
much
place.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
So, which emotions do you find hardest to release and why? Simple question.
Simple question. Uh, Fortunately, because I've been working on these issues consciously, consciously for the last 50 years, uh, they're getting less and less. But I would say one of the biggest emotions that I felt 40 years ago, 50 years ago, that led me on this path was the feeling of being unworthy, um, and betrayal. And these have uh, were my great motivators to say, I know that this is incorrect data. I wasn't saying that at that time, um, but they led me to making some very big changes. And as I released the negative emotions that were binding me, and replace them with a simple, and you know this, when my daughter was 6 months old, I took her to swimming class, and they taught the kids sign language so they could learn sign language before their physical bodies were able to articulate. And it's I can. And it was very, very simple. But as I'm taking her to this class and they're teaching them, yeah, the little baby is looking at this big, huge ocean they're going to jump into, and they just go, "I can," and the little kids would go. They made sign language and baby language, but then they splash in, and I'm going, "So can I." So yeah,
That's beautiful. Uh, and like you, yeah, I have a little less years than you, but I have
yeah,
kind of a lot of years too. That I've been trying to live. No, I rephrase that. I've done my best to be conscious about things.
beautiful four agreements.
Yes. And because I'm stubborn, I have had a tendency throughout my life to just, oh, a challenge, I'm conquering it. Uh, Maybe having to do a little bit more effort in certain areas than others, right? Um, but it's a part of the journey. And when you are aware, it's not painful to see things about yourself. In the beginning, it's probably feeling harder, right? But then it eases up and it's actually beautiful. It doesn't mean that I feel bad if I realize that, oh, I was clumsy yesterday. I wasn't my brightest version, but I was the best version I could be at
Yeah.
that time, right? Yeah. And things happen. Talk about clumsy. Yeah, you can break a leg if you're clumsy.
Or it just
Or you
it
can
just
fall flat.
it just happened. Yes, I
Yeah.
fell flat on my face. So I literally fell flat on my face. You
Yeah.
know, kind of
So,
rearranged my nose and
yes. Third question. How do you
okay.
know when you have truly let something go?
Okay. Because life is fluid, and you get experiences, like I said, to kind of go, oh, is it really gone, and so forth. I mean, we're always given opportunities to grow just a little bit more. But I think when I am in the now, when I am calm, and when there is just a peace about whatever is moving around me. And I realize that I'm experiencing life, but I'm experiencing it at a gentler, I don't know if that's a word, a more gentle way of being in the world. It doesn't seem to be as in my face as much as it embraces, and it's coming from me because all the chaos and all the stuff is still happening out there. But the emotions that I put that guide me are so much more um, loving. And I've released the ones that, quote, are my triggers. And I find that even in diversity, there's a great calm. And I love this calm. I love this place of ah.
Yeah, that's beautiful. For me, that means when I know when I truly let something go, it doesn't affect me. Doesn't mean that I'm cold and not feeling anything about it, but it doesn't. I don't react. I may respond,
Right.
but it's not shaking my world any longer.
Exactly.
There's no earthquake within.
Thank goodness. Right.
So, and that is fantastic. It's a beautiful feeling because I think many times this is my perception that this world have taught us that we need to react to things all the time, right? We need to
Yep.
have opinions. The more opinions, the better. But
Okay.
opinions are, they're just opinions, right? It doesn't mean that I can claim that I have 10 opinions here, I'm right and you're wrong. No, there is no right or wrong as a basis because it depends on how you see things. It's about perception and perspective, right?
Mhm.
If you take it, yeah, of course there are. If you talk about really truly evil things, hurting
Yes.
someone,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a different story. That's something else. But now we're talking about opinions about life, or I know the answer for you. I'm going to tell you what to do to reach that point. That is my perspective, not yours, right? I can
That's it.
say claim that I have the solution for you, right?
Yep.
So, fourth question. What role does self-love play in emotional liberation?
There would be no evolution if you do not start loving yourself first. And interestingly enough, we come in to this world and we're all about self love. We're all about the exploration, and we're safe, we're secure, and we just and then we have to be taught that we aren't supposed to love ourselves, and then we start having the challenge. But you would never take this journey if it didn't start with self-love. So if I were to say anything, it's when you start loving yourself that the light starts going on.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
that's what triggers the wonderful journey.
In Sweden, we have something we call in Swedish, they say jantelagen, the law of Jante. I don't know why they have the name for it, the terminology, but it
Yeah.
basically says that y- do not ever think that you are something or anything or anyone, right?
Yep.
Um, don't stick out. Don't,
That's
don't,
right.
don't. Yeah,
Fit in, fit in, and and there's many religions that teach you that. Well, the first thing is that women are the seed of sin. That we came in and we are born broken and guilty. That you will never, ever, 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 no matter what you do, be able to touch divinity. Uh, and they strip us of that divinity, of that knowledge that we are part of the oneness that we are.
Yeah.
And it's when that little spark of self love that didn't get squashed or blown out, and it says, uh uh, you are.
Yes,
You
exactly.
are the R. I am,
Yes,
but you are, you know?
yes, exactly. And it's also considered in many places that it's very egoistical to claim self-love. But why would that be? Because
Yep.
think about it. And we said this numbers of times before. What is the most important relationship in our lives? The
It's
one with
us.
self,
Yeah.
because it is from the time we come in, not speaking about the soul, because the soul already knows
Yeah.
all of this. The soul is not that complicated. But we come into this world and we love ourselves, and we should be taught to continue that thing, uh,
Yeah.
to love ourselves until we transition back home again, because there's nothing wrong with loving. And as you said, you can't pour tea from an empty teapot, can you?
Nope.
No.
And the thing is that people take words like loving yourself does not mean selfish. When you love yourself, you become selfless because you have so much love for you. You have all this love to give to others. So self love is the opposite of selfish.
Yes.
And but they tell you that if you like, pride goeth before a fall. Now, egotistical, I'm better than you, I'm going to crush you, I'm going to do this, that's egotistic. But if you take pride in that you went to school, you got your diploma, you're now helping people, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that you put the effort in and you're doing it. But to go around saying I'm the best and you're down, that there again, that's selfish. That is not self-love.
No,
So
it's not.
understanding what it means is a big thing.
Exactly. And that is a big thing when it comes to emotional liberation. Love
Exactly.
yourself.
Yep.
Last question. How can we support each other in staying free and authentic?
Ooh.
A
Well,
simple question.
I tell you how I do it. I call up and I say, Anna, you know, could you just kind of send me a big lump of TLC right now? Because I need a little extra TLC to get through this. Um, and finding another authentic being and someone that's not trying to control, someone that doesn't judge, someone that is you're able to be your authentic self with. You don't have to put on a facade. And I feel that this is the greatest gift of all. And sometimes it takes 82 years to find that person. And that meant I had to stay alive 82 years to find you, Anna. But I
Oh,
was determined that there was someone out there that would be able to be uh, that authentic, that I could be authentic with them. So,
right back at you, because
yeah.
there are not all people who can, and your love is totally unconditional. And you do the exactly same for me. And I'm thankful that you had the patience to stay here for 82 years and looking for me.
Yeah. I've been looking at my overdue date here, and my expiration date is coming up, and you know, and then when I check and I go, well, wasn't I supposed to expire like last month? Uh, who moved the clock up here? And they said, well, there's a couple of more things we need you to do. And I said, well, no, wait a minute, was that my contract? Oh yeah, your contract. We can we can renew it and then just tell you about it. And I'm going, well, that's something I'm going to have to review.
That's so funny. Um, yeah, and we can always, just as you said, you put it beautifully, finding instead of sometimes we in this world, yes, I understand and I know we need to interact with people that we may not feel in fully alignment with, right?
Yeah.
But we can try to minimize those times, right? And
Yeah.
those that we spend much time with, that we feel that with those people we are in fully alignment, right? So we
Yeah.
can actually it's fantastic when it happens, and the energy that we are exchanging, that brings us to new levels of understanding, like what we said in the beginning. We are still mastering things, but it brings us
Absolutely.
forward in a fantastic way. I couldn't dream of. I've been looking for you since I came here. 62 years.
You know, uh, we meet a lot of people, and we have a lot of experiences with a lot of things. But there are truly, and I don't like to use the word. Uh, what is it? Not is it soulmates and stuff like that, because those are words that people place on things for different things.
Soul
But
connections. How about that?
but we have a soul connection. We have been together many lifetimes and many experiences. It's like um, we come from the same soul family, and you can have people that you love and people that you live with, and they may not be from your cosmic soul family. And I think you and I have that connection that is beyond time and space, and it's yeah, it's a mutual admiration society. That's true. But the thing is, it goes so much deeper than that. And
Yes.
it's rare. It's rare to find that connection, and um, and that doesn't mean that we are the same. Oh, God forbid! Nobody should be just like me, because I've got challenges, and but our uniqueness and our differences just absolutely create this entity that is it's beyond both of us. And I kind of like hanging around. I really do.
I kind of like hanging around too. And I think we actually agreed on, probably before we came here, that let's struggle in life first and let's have a grace together.
Yeah, yeah. So, but it's yeah. When I met you on the radio, and then a year later, I met you on screen, and I was just going to come on for one interview. And even before we started the show, you said, "How about you being my co-host?" And I went, and that was what, 2.5 years ago.
Yes.
It's been a blissful ride. It really has.
We are soon up for 3 years. How about that? Beautiful.
Wow, wow.
And what do you feel about, are you ready for the affirmation?
May I? I
Yes,
love
please.
reading your affirmations. I open my heart to the gentle truth of my emotions. Each feeling is a doorway into deeper peace. Each breath a release into grace. I trust the rhythm of my healing and allow love to guide me home to freedom.
Oh. Thank you.
I am home.
I'm home too. Is there anything else we want to state?
Not at this moment,
Not at this moment.
but
So-
to come later. To come later.
So let's gently and beautifully wrap this up. You can find upcoming and past episodes at youtube.com/@cosmicguardians111/streams and youtube.com/@angelplaceonearth/streams and angelplaceonearth.com/upcoming-past. You can connect with us. You can find out more about Karine and myself, read articles and more at angelplaceonearth.com/cosmicguardians. You can find our series at angelplaceonearth.com/series-cosmic-guardians. So we currently have 2 series. The 4 agreements with the 5th agreement early on this year in January, February sometime, I don't remember.
Yeah.
And then we have the Celestine Prophecy. They are teachings that have been on for a long time, but the essence of them are always how things work, right? So they are very, very good. Specifically the 4 agreements and the 5th one for all of you who wants to lessen the pressure on yourselves and try to move forward.
Yes.
And it's brilliant. Our next upcoming show on Cosmic Guardians and Cosmic Sis-Stars with me and Karine is next Wednesday, September 2nd. Wow, September. And we will talk about from overwhelm to overflow. From overwhelm to overflow.
Yep.
We do go live for you every Wednesday in US and Europe and every Thursday in Australia. And as we close this radiant conversation, let's carry the light we've touched today into our daily lives. Emotional freedom begins with awareness, the gentle choice to feel, to release, and to rise. May you walk forward lighter, clearer, and more connected to your own truth. Remember, every breath is a new beginning, every feeling a doorway to grace.
Exactly.
Until next time, keep shining your cosmic heart into the world. With infinite love, peace, and joy, we see you, we hear you, we feel you, we honor you, we love you, we appreciate you. Namaste.
Bye-bye.
Bye.